turn to Revelation 8:1. The name of the devotion is called The Silence. And it says, "And when he broke the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about a half an hour." And when I read this, I kept thinking about, all the different silences that we have in our lives. But I think of this, and I saw that this was the last time in the Bible that it was silent. And prior to this, there were the 6 judgments, the 6 seals that they opened up, that they were unleashed on earth and on mankind. There was the Cold War. There was the open war. There's famine. There's death. There's massive physical disruptions in the events of man and of our planet on our earth. So each time one of these seals of the title deed, and I like that word, title deed of the earth, because when you buy a piece of property, no matter if it's $15 or if it's $15 million, you have a title. You have a title deed. You go to the deed company and they look it up and they see if there's anybody that's owned it prior to you. They have title insurance. They make sure that when you pay for that amount or you get a loan, that property is yours. So I liked it when I came across this word that said title deed to the earth. And so God has the title deed to our earth, and He's the one that's allowing us to live there. Just like, really, we don't really own our piece of property. We go to work every day, or we go and pay for our property, or we pay rent, or we pay whoever. But we really don't own anything. We're just here. So I like that word, title deed to the earth. When it's peeled back, the cataclysm rattles the domain of the one who has attempted to consume, to control the earth. Right now, God's allowing Satan to completely control the earth. We see it every day. God's instructed us before in the Bible to what? To be still and know that I am God. The silence. He says, hey, shut up for a while. Keep your mouth closed. I know what you're thinking. I don't even need you to open your mouth. Be still and know that I'm God and that I know what you're saying. So the hushed 30-minute expectancy makes the judgments amount to the announcement that's more dreaded. What happens when when the teacher says, today we're going to have an assignment on page 13, and for your homework I'd like for it to be, what kind of a feeling would you have? Well, there's going to be a dread. Oh man, I don't want to do anything. I've got stuff to do when I get home. But this is such a magnitude after unleashed on the earth the 6 seals. The 7th seal, the magnitude that this is going to create. There was 30 minutes in heaven, and this dreaded thing that was going to happen. The magnitude of human suffering is going to be announced. To graduate to a significantly higher level. Take it up to the next level. The sensation of the activity serves as a notice of that escalation in judgmental activity. He's saying there's going to be a change. The earth, just like all of the creation, was made, and like I said, belongs to God. Doesn't belong to us, He's letting us live here. He made us. He made us from that earth. Satan has attempted to place his throne above the Most High God that is in Genesis. For this rebellion, he was cast down to the earth with his followers. And he's here to kill, destroy, take as many people, souls, whatever he has to. And now here in the recounting of the Revelation, the Apostle John, his reign of terror is going to what? It ends in utter defeat. Satan has led many away. We've seen friends, relatives. We've seen people kind of go for a while and they'd be all right. But kind of something starts to pulling on them. Pulls them away. Deceiving them that either he will win in the end and that there is no God to make an accounting to the end of your life. He fools people. He's like, when you're, out, you've got a little, I feel like sometimes I have a little angel here and a little devil here whispering. I got the little devil saying, yeah, you need to do that. No, it's like this all day long. You've got that going on, and I'm sure most people do. But sometimes, what do they do with this one? I want to listen to the devil over here. I want to listen to this guy. Makes more sense. He usually does by the time it's ended. They have no biblical scripture that they're going on. I find this moment that's very telling of the character of God. All this time, God has been graciously, in the Bible, unfolding the plan of the ages to a fallen race. We're a fallen race that would rather turn its back on the one who loves them enough to die in the place. Through the first 6 devastating events, there's been little or no pause. If you'll notice in the 6 prior seals, which we won't get into, there's no pause. He's boom, boom, boom. I'm attacking. We're sending them straight on. I'm sending death. I'm sending famine. I'm sending destruction. I'm sending all these things. But then, before the 7th, he is rested and said 30 minutes. Through the first devastating events, there's been no little pause, and we wonder why. No relenting power being arrayed against the earth and its inhabitants. You know, we saw this back when Moses, you know, we had the plagues, and the death angel came at the very end, and the blood was over the door, and they would just being in there and praising the Lord that, oh, just pass by me. It's the same thing. There's also been no relenting on the opposite side either. So you've got the good forces. It's pounding, pounding. Come on, wake up. I'm giving you famine. I'm giving you death. What's the devil doing? He's still relenting. He's like, I'm dominion. I've got dominion over this earth. There's no record of anyone yielding or crying out to God for mercy or forgiveness while this is going on. The only one who cried out to God was when Jesus was being crucified, saying, he didn't say, man, he's left me in this bad position. What do I do now? He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He was standing in place for you and me because we're so stupid. Our human ability is so stupid. He was asking forgiveness for others when he himself was being tortured and put to death. We say we might be able to do that when the time comes for us to be a martyr. I'd like to think I could, but I probably could. But if they were torturing one of your children, could you do it then? He gave himself. He said, forgive them, because he knew what was coming. Maybe they believe the people that are on the earth, that the lie of the enemy has told them so long that God is dead. God doesn't exist. He's not around here. And they would rather believe that, even when faced with God and his matchless strength and power. We've seen people that have had miracles in their lives, whether it be healing, whatever it is, financial. They've had a literal miracle and strength in their life, seeing God perform. And not only have they seen it and witnessed it, they turned away. They've been in the presence. They know, and they still choose other ways. So now we're going to look at this pause. There's this pause. In the verse just before this, we are told that there is an assembled multitude of Gentiles. There are legions of angels present as the scene unfolds in heaven. And the Lion, tribe of Judah, lifts his hand and says, there's complete silence from all creatures for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. We've never had that before. What's happening? We can kind of see in our mind's eye what's happening, but why is there silence? Because this is a major dreaded thing that's coming. God is waiting, maybe, for that one voice, that one person who would relent and cry out to him for salvation for that 30 minutes. Do you think he heard somebody? Sadly, that never cry comes, even after he shot and blasted the earth with the 6 seals. So I don't know why when people are confronted directly with the existence and power of God, they won't submit. You know, we're stubborn. We're a stubborn species. People have grown that way in our society today. They have need of nothing. You are your own God. We have all these natural healing centers and all these different things that are available. Man can heal you. These crystals can help you. They can help you meditate. Let me warm them up and put them on your body, and somehow that's going to align all the magnets from the bottom of your feet. What is that going to do? God made those too. I guess if he can use a rock, maybe he can use those rocks, but it's nothing that the rock has. I can't get over that. I can't get over that. Heaven and hell is here on earth, is what most say. I'm going through hell right now. This is it. It can't get any worse than this. Oh, yes, it can. It will. And I hope to think that this wasn't my heaven. Because you know why it isn't heaven? Jesus isn't physically here. Because you know what our goal is to worship Him. Yeah, we're worshiping Him, but we can be with Him and worship Him. That's what our goal is. So people that say that heaven is here, no, I'm not going to cut it. So then, is it human pride and arrogance that these people don't accept Christ? Probably. Is it that they cannot accept who this person is? They can't accept an outsider? But we're going to know very soon, one day. And you know, I like that song, soon and very soon, we're going to see the King. And those of us that are, saved, we're going to see the King. We'll all be together. We'll, have our family. Of course, any individual, now it's not all doom and gloom, like David likes to point out. It's not all doom and gloom. Any individual has the opportunity to escape this great end-time purging, this great seventh seal, beginning with the first seal. What do we got to do? We have to first place our personal trust in Jesus Christ and admit that we are sinners. We all sin every day, but we are sinners, and we need forgiveness. That person will never endure the wrath of God because Christ accepted that wrath in his or her place. Yes, we will have the judgment, but when we stand before Him, we will say, thinking, yeah, I'm saved. And unfortunately, the person in line behind you might not have that luxury. The only sensible course for anyone who has not yet accepted Christ as a substitute is do so immediately before God's wrath begins to fall. We don't know when this time's going to come, but we do know it. When I was studying the silence in heaven, I began to think, when you're in a room have you ever been in a room that's completely black? I mean, no light or nothing at all, and you kind of feel like, your eyes are open, but there's nothing there. And to me, that's how I equate the silence and the deafening silence. A lot of people say, well, I don't like to have noises. I like to listen to the crickets, and I like to listen to the birds singing. Yeah, you do. But take all that away. There's nothing. There's no creature making a sound. God's hushed them all for 30 minutes. Try and imagine that. So we need to pray for the Lord Jesus to come quickly for our own lives. We don't know what's going to happen or when. But I wanted to announce that the silence is there. Are we living in silence now? I don't know. But I wanted to talk about Revelation. I want to talk about that verse because end of times are coming, and it's just like sometimes we're so busy talking that we don't step back and listen to what needs to be said, what we need to hear. We need to step back and listen. So when He opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of a half hour. So as you go along this week, think about that. Are you ready for the silence? Are you ready to listen, to meet Jesus? Are we ready? And the thing about it is, it's simple. Simple prayer. But the thing is, are we humble enough to ask the prayer? Are we humble enough to come before Him? No matter what you've done in your past, doesn't matter. We all aren't perfect. We have things that we carry around, and sometimes when we are saved, we carry around guilt. We don't need that. We don't need to be like the devil and the little angel on there. We don't have to be that way.